So this piece was difficult to say the least. Working with color is something that I'm not used to and I'm still trying to adapt. Typically I work in monochromatic paintings, so blacks, white, grays, blues, like I said in my previous video. So for me to switch to paintings that are more colorful after going so long with only working with blacks, whites, and other variations of colors, but mostly black and white, or getting back to using colors is something that is necessary for me right now in my growth as far as being an artist. I think because I starved myself for so long without color, not intentionally, I was having a good time while doing it. Going without it for so long and then going into it kind of full force the way that I am right now has proven to be a bit difficult for me. Like I said in my previous video, I typically don't worry about the end product. I'm not too concerned about it while I'm painting. With working with color, I'm finding myself looking at it a little bit more in detail, and that's something I'm gonna have to get over as well. I got comfortable working with the palette that I was using. So switching and going into full color has changed my process and how I paint. And I'm paying attention more to what's happening in real time versus when I go into my typical palettes, I'm more of in a flow state where I'm not really too concerned about the final product. And I think that's just because I'm comfortable with that palette, opposed to this new palette. This new palette has me second guessing what I'm doing. It has me questioning everything about it. I'm trying to do color theory in my head. I'm not that well versed in color theory. There were several points in this painting where I almost reversed and just went back to doing a foundation of black and white and giving up because I was so wrapped up in what was happening on the canvas, where typically I'm not thinking about the canvas. I'm not concerned about what's happening on the canvas while I'm painting. And I think switching to a new palette is good. And it has me processing painting a little bit more different. It's something I'm going to push through and get back into learning how to be comfortable with. The same way that I had to get comfortable with working with only black, white, the same thing will happen with this new palette that I'm working with. I'm still not totally satisfied with the final painting. I think it may need to sit on the wall for a couple of days and grow on me. I do catch myself looking at it now and seeing the beauty in it. It's such a radical change from what I'm used to. In the first video, you see my first painting going back into color. This is my second painting now going back into color, and you can see the similarities between the two. That's intentional. I want them to have some similarities. I'm not trying to copy the first painting by any means. I'm also not trying to make this painting radically different from the first one. And that's kind of how I work when I get into a groove. I tend to make a series. I think there's something to be said about being an artist. I get a lot of comments. Oh, my kid can do that. My garage floor looks like that. The list goes on and on. Everyone thinks that this is very simple and it's very easy. And I'm not saying that it's not. For some people, it can come to them very easily. And for others, like myself, it takes a long time for us to build up to where we are. But to say that it's simple and just leave it at that, it's not. I've been told in the past that I'm a prolific creator in the sense that I can do a lot of art in a short amount of time. And even with that being said, I'm still spending 10, 15, 20 hours on a painting minimum before I'm finished with it. The painting behind me has several days worth of work put into it, but I know that it's a few days worth of work. And I don't mean like a few days in the sense of 4 or 3 hours. We're talking 6 hours minimum a day. It's some days longer, some days 8+ hours. I think yesterday I worked on the piece for almost 10 hours. I'm blessed to be in the position to be able to do that, but it is a bit discouraging whenever you post something and you share it with people and the response is, oh, my kid can do that, or oh, that's so simple to do, that's so easy to do. And don't get me wrong, there are other people out there who maybe aren't artists that appreciate it and will chime in and say, oh, it's not that simple, it's not that easy. For me, those comments are few and far in between. I'm not going to name out where I posted it, but I posted the first picture on a platform and a lot of people commented and said, this is a Pollock ripoff, Jackson Pollock ripoff. I have nothing against that, but I want to make it extremely clear that in no way, shape, or form am I trying to replicate or use Jackson Pollock's style in my paintings. And not that I need to even justify saying that, but I feel like I do, and I'm going to. If you know the history of Jackson Pollock, and if you know his painting styles, then you'll know that the way I paint and the way I go about painting, it's entirely different. It's two different styles. How I apply my techniques and how he applied his techniques are completely different. Of course, there's some similarities in there, but I believe if you know enough about art, as I'm starting to learn, you will see that there are similarities in almost every piece of work. Not that someone even knows they're doing it, but because the grandfathers of art applied so many techniques and laid a foundation. So there's so much work out there. So to say that your artwork is completely original, and when I use that word completely original, I mean that there are no similarities between your artwork and someone else's artwork. I can't fathom that. I don't think that's possible. I spend my downtime looking at other art and learning more about art history. The more that I learn, the more that I can see. So if you were to ask me a year ago if my paintings replicated Jackson Pollock, I would tell you no. There's no similarities between the two. That's because a year ago, I had no idea who Jackson Pollock even was. Now that I know who he is, and I've looked at his body of work and learned about his life, I can see similarities in my work and his. One of the bigger challenges that I think artists have now is that there's so many different ways art can be seen, and there's so much art out there. For me, if I scroll through Instagram, it's filled with other artists, all doing similar work that I'm doing, and that's because I'm following a lot of abstract artists. It could be discouraging whenever you paint something and you post it and you only get a handful of likes, a few comments, or it goes unnoticed. You could say to yourself, well, why am I doing this? What's the point in doing this? That reverts back to my belief and why I paint. I paint for myself first, and then if someone else enjoys my painting after, that's great. I think a lot of artists struggle with finding that balance of painting for themselves and painting to please other people and painting to get attention from other people. I had a pretty long conversation not long ago with a friend of mine who is a well-known artist, makes a living off of his artwork, and I said to him, how many artists would there be tomorrow everyone knew you weren't going to get paid and you weren't going to get any attention if you were just painting to paint because you love to paint? Now, I'm not saying that the vast majority of artists are painting for monetary purposes or painting just to be seen. I personally see a lot of artists who are stuck in a niche, and it's like they found success in that niche and they're afraid to leave it, or they found success in that niche and they don't want to leave it. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just curious if they're happy, because one painting may have gained them a lot of attention, and that's now the style that people expect from them, and they don't have the flexibility to switch whenever they want to and try new things and put new things out there. So I want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed, the comments that I did receive. To be completely honest with you, whenever I posted that video, it took me a long time to edit it. I'm still getting better at editing videos, but it took me a long time to edit that video and post it, and I really wasn't happy with how it turned out. Again, I'm overcritical on myself. I'm happy I did post it, and I'm blown away by the people that reached out and subscribed and commented. I started this YouTube channel with 0 subscribers. I didn't tell anyone I was even starting a YouTube channel. The growth that I gained was completely organic, and I'm extremely thankful for it. I know it sounds silly. I think I have 12 subscribers right now, but honestly, when I posted that video, I expected to maybe get 2 or 3. I told myself, if this video gets over 100 views, I'm going to be blown away. So again, thank you for everyone that enjoyed the video. Thank you for the subscribers. I genuinely appreciate you guys. I'm glad that you enjoyed the content. I plan to make more. Ideally, I would like to see if I could upload a video every couple of days, because I do paint so quickly sometimes. I think it would be interesting to see, even if I'm not finished with a painting, just so you can see where I'm at in the process I applied to get the painting to where it is and kind of the life stages of it. Keep an eye on my channel. I do post a lot of shorts. The long form content will continue to come. Comment below what you think of this painting. I'm gonna post a picture of it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to stick around, subscribe, like the video. More videos will be posted. Get out there and create. Don't hold back. Just get out there and do it. Until next time, peace and love.